welcome everybody to episode 7. Yes, episode 7. That means that we are only 3 away from 10, which is a milestone. 10 episodes is really, really good, and we've done this in less than basically 8 weeks, so which is really, really good to actually on a podcast. Once again, it's people actually downloading and wanting to listen to us and all of that. So the actual, downloading it from Google Play, iTunes, Podbean, iHeart, TuneIn, Spreaker, Spotify, all of that. You guys downloading it's awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. We can't do this without support from you guys, and it's perfect. And there's a little bit of a surprise that I want to tell you guys, but if you join our Discord, one of the things that we have is a level system. So if you are participating in chat, you start to level up. Well, there has been a couple of designs that have been going around, and we are looking to possibly start to produce some swag that we can send out for achieving certain levels. So join our Discord. It's worth it. You can find our Discord link on any one of the platforms. It's all published there. Podbean is probably the easiest. You can go to iTunes, all that. Just copy it into your browser if you have Discord, and just come and join. It's an open forum for really anything. We always have fun in there. So, but let's get to the actual big thing. Is that Grace is back.
Hello. I know I've been missing for like 3 episodes. I have a lot of health stuff going on, and then my computer got fried, so I'm on a new computer, and I'm slightly healthier.
Slightly healthier. Well, that's a good thing.
Story of my life.
Yeah. First off, being healthy is the biggest thing. But
Yes.
Second off is the computer. What kind of computer did you get? That's awesome.
It is an HP Omen.
Ooh.
So it's all fancy and stuff. I've never had any computers this fancy. My boyfriend bought it for me for my birthday and Christmas present because it was a chunk of change. So that's why I'm able to have it.
Oh, he seems like a really good boyfriend. When are we going to have him on?
Whenever he's not working until 8 billion p.m. on a Thursday night.
He's got to pay for your laptop.
Well.
There you go.
He doesn't get overtime, though, so I'm just leave early anyway. It's fine.
Yeah,
No, I'm kidding. He's a really hard worker,
Good.
and he earns every cent that he is given by the company he works for. So,
All right. Well, I know that we've kind of talked a bit and or whatever, and he helped us out with our logo and stuff like that. So they said he seems like a pretty cool guy and all that. But yeah, we do it definitely. If he ever gets off early, we should have him on.
I'll have him join me one day. Him and I will be on just in one camera.
There you go. So we're on our normal time again on Thursday. Steve is having, as everybody knows, Steve has a new little one, so he's got a little bit of fun going on with that tonight. And Jesus, I guess, was volunteered to babysit. Is that what we heard?
Yes, it doesn't sound like he actually volunteered, but rather a family member probably was just like, here are my children, you have them now. That's what it sounds like. So
Okay, that works.
he has decided to calm them with candy and cartoons, which are both stimulants. So I don't know how that's going to work for him, but I hope it goes well.
Wait, candy and cartoons to try to calm them?
Yeah, that's what he said. He was trying to distract them and calm them down and make them less quiet, or less loud, rather, and make them more quiet. So, like I said, I don't know how that's going to work, but at least he has something to try.
Absolutely. Well, we wish them the best, and have fun babysitting while we have fun on here, I guess. All right. So, Grace, what have you been playing these past 1,800 weeks you haven't been here?
I have been playing Warframe, and I've been playing a lot of Terra.
Okay.
And I got back into League for the 800 billionth time. So, been
Is
playing
that 'cause
mostly.
the fancy computer can run it very, very nicely?
Yes, and I can actually have
Alright.
music. I can have music on in the background. I used to have to close Google Chrome in order to play League on my last 2 computers so that League wouldn't skip. and this
Well,
one just handles it like a boss. So,
what was the computer that you had before this one?
oh, holy kittens. It was an HP Pavilion, and then the one before that was a Toshiba something or other. It was like a $200 little silver computer that just keeps trucking, because when my Pavilion got coffee spilled on it and then destroyed by the place that we took it to get cleaned and fixed, then it was there for me after like 7 years of having it. So
that's awesome. That's kind of like yeah, you kind of have a story with this whole thing of spilling it and all of that, and you know, it was kind of fun to hear about. So would you want to share or no?
I mean, I can. It's not too big of a story, but it's like, it was mostly just that I was sitting on my couch that's in my room, and I had a McDonald's coffee, cold, not hot, but cold, sitting near my laptop. Not right next to it, but near it, apparently close enough. And my laptop was open. And I had to take my medication, so like I grabbed my meds and sat down on my couch, and I was reading a book, and I took my medicine, and I was just like, I don't feel like getting up to put this little bottle all the way over there. So I just tossed it. And it just barely nicked the edge of the straw in my drink, and I knocked it over, and I didn't catch it fast enough. So coffee got all over my keyboard and seeped into the computer. Which was fine.
What's the one lesson we learn about computers and liquids?
They don't go together. So
I like that delay. They don't go together.
Oh my goodness. So
go ahead,
I take it. No, you're fine. I take it to this place. I don't want to name drop. Because I'm really mad at them.
No, we're not going to name drop.
But I'm not going to name drop. So I take it to this place to get it fixed. And I walk in, and I'm just like, hey, I spilled some coffee on this. Can you just rub it down with isopropyl alcohol? And it's like, yeah, that's what we'll do. We're just going to take it apart, and we're going to take like a toothbrush and isopropyl, and we're just going to scrub the motherboard down and everything else, make sure it's all clean and you're good to go. And we'll check to see if anything got like, because it shut my computer off when the coffee spilled. My computer shut. So they were just going.
Wait. Was it a flavored coffee?
I don't think so.
I like how you had to think about that one.
I don't think it was flavored. Well, it's considered a caramel frap, or frappe, whatever. And so I don't know if the caramel is in the drink, because they just like usually like swirl it around the cup. So I don't know if it was actually caramel flavored coffee or just their regular iced coffee that they put a little bit of caramel around. I'm guessing the latter. But that's why I had to hesitate.
Okay.
But it was sticky. It was a sticky mess. So then, yeah, we took it to this place to get it cleaned, and they were like, yeah, all I'll do is, toothbrush scrubbing, that whole thing, isopropyl. And I was like, all right, cool. I trust you guys to take good care while she's here. And the guy was just like, yeah, we're going to take real good care of your computer, don't worry. And I was just like, okay.
Oh, they took good care of it.
They took great care of it. First, they didn't realize that there were 2 screws underneath the feet. On the underside of my computer. So they just kind of like brute strength through that, and cracked the back half into like 3 different pieces trying to take it off.
Wouldn't they feel that if it's not coming out, like something's probably still connecting?
Oh no, you'd absolutely think. But no.
I think that was the problem, they didn't.
This certified technician snapped the back of my laptop into 3 pieces. After doing that and actually going through and being like, oh, there's screws here, I should take those out. They went and took the screws out, and then they went in, and they water cleaned it, and then put it in a dehydrator. So what they didn't do was what they told me they were going to do. What they did do instead was put a bunch of water on it to try and get the sticky to go away. And then you can imagine how water goes with circuitry. So
that doesn't look no.
So then they put it in the dehydrator overnight to make sure they got all the water out. And I was like, great. Because, like, I called and I was just like, hey, is my computer ready yet? Like, you guys are taking a while for just, like, an isopropyl scrub.
I got a podcast to do tonight.
I was like, it shouldn't be taking happening. And they were just like, oh, it's in the dehydrator right now. Don't worry, it'll be done by, like, tomorrow. It's fine. And I was like, okay, better be ready tomorrow, I guess. Because tomorrow is my podcast, actually. I was like, boy,
if I missed the podcast, if I missed the podcast for the 18th time in a row,
people will be outraged. So he tells me it's in a dehydrator, and I was like, wait a minute. Why is it in a dehydrator? I didn't think to ask. I was like, all right, maybe it's for the isopropyl, but I know isopropyl dries like almost immediately, so I'm like, it's definitely not because they cleaned it with isopropyl. It's not why they put it in a dehydrator. And so, like, the next day, I get a call from them in the morning, and they're just this guy with the worst demeanor. He has a voice that makes you just want to punch him in the face, which didn't help his case. And he was the guy I had to talk to when I went to go pick my computer up, too, and I was so close to just, like, vaulting over the counter.
Don't you love that?
Him. I was like, boy, I hate it so much. He was so rude. He was just one of those people that's just like, excuse me, yeah, no, your computer is, like, really broken. I think you should just get a new one. Also, your motherboard is probably fried. And I was just like, great.
Maybe it's because you put it in water?
Dude, I wanted so badly to just be like, y'all owe me a new laptop. You're not supposed to put laptops in water. I don't know what kind of repair place you are. They like mainly do smartphones, but they claim that they can also do like PC and stuff like that. And I asked them when I went in, I was just like, are you capable of taking care of this dubious task? And they were like, yes, I can clean the coffee out.
Wait. Say dubious again.
Dubious.
Sorry.
Why?
Just the way you said it sounded funny. This dubious task. Like
dubious task.
You like emphasize the, you put the emphasis on the wrong syllables. It was kind of funny.
I do. It's a thing I do sometimes. Especially when I get all worked up about nonsense that shouldn't have happened in the first place.
You kind of get a New York accent too when you.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
It's just my brain being like, do this instead of your normal voice. So, New York.
Oh, the angry New Yorker is coming out.
I've never been to New York. Maybe one day I should go. And then I'll have an excuse the next time I use that accent. It's just, oh God, it was so frustrating because when he called me, he left the voicemail and he was just like so nonchalantly. He was just like, yeah, so we gave your computer water cleaning and then dehydrated it and it wouldn't turn on still.
It just don't work.
I was like, gee, I wonder why. Oh my God. And then he was just like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm sorry to have to report this to you. And I was like, that always starts a great conversation.
Yeah.
And he was just like, but the technician that was working on your computer didn't realize that there were screws in the feet, and he snapped the back panel off. I was like, you're kidding. He did what? And so when I went to go pick it up, I pretended like I hadn't heard the voicemail. Because he tried to say that he called me like 2 days before I showed up, when really it was 6 days. He called me 6 days before I showed up, telling me that the new back for my computer would be in, because they ordered a new back, which was, I guess, the literal least they could do legally. And so So I was just like, okay, it'll take 3 to 5 days to get the new part in. Cool, I'll come in like 6 days later and just pick it up and be done with it, right? So I show up like 6 days after this call, and the guy's like, I called you like 2 days ago to let you know that your part was going to be here in 3 to 5 days. So like, it's not here. It's been like 2 days. And I was just like, you're absolutely lying, man, who makes me want to punch him in the face. You're absolutely lying.
And you thought that this story was not funny or entertaining.
I
mean, come on now.
It's a lot. I've been at a steady level of just like, God damn it, for the last like 3 weeks. With medical stuff, getting a sinus infection, having fluid in both of my ears, worrying that it was going to turn into another double ear infection because I've had those before. It's not a fun time. Didn't turn into that, thank the Lord. Then they gave me the wrong antibiotic that I'm allergic to that kickstarted all of my medical problems to begin with, and I was in severe abdominal pain for like a week.
Hello, welcome to the Save Point podcast, where we're hearing about Grace's ears bleeding and
where we talk about Grace being in severe abdominal pain and bleeding internally. Great content. I don't know. I lead a very odd life.
Hey,
but that's been my last 2 weeks.
But you're feeling better.
Yeah.
And the Superman boyfriend came in and got you the new laptop, right?
Yes.
Laptop?
Yes.
And it's a wonderful piece of equipment.
I wish I could have a desktop. I wish that I could just like settle down and get just a full-on desktop. But unfortunately, I go to and fro 2 hours at a time. So I am either at home or I am at college, and I can't just have my desktop one place or the other since I move around so much.
You'll get one. Don't worry.
One day, when I have a home of my own and I'm not in school anymore.
You'll be like Jesus, Steve, and myself sooner or later.
Yes.
Yes. No, it's we're very, very happy to have you back though. So dealing with everything and coming back. So it's awesome.
I'm glad to be back. I feel like a hot mess, but it's fine.
It's all good.
Got stuff through it.
Yes.
Got stuff through it.
So let's see. I played the new No Man's Sky, or the updated, which I'll talk about.
Okay.
I'll talk about in a bit. But that's really about all that I've played, because if you were listening last week, we were on 2 days early because I went to New York.
Yay!
Speaking of Angry Grace, New York. No.
Segue.
Like I said, I went to New York, and it was an absolute fabulous time. We left Wednesday night about 9:00 Chicago time, and got there Thursday. Yeah, we got there Thursday around 11:30 their time. We drove through the whole night. Yeah, it was a long drive. It was a fun drive, but it was a long drive, and it was great. Got to see my uncle, which it's a shameless plug or whatever, but I am going to kind of say what it's. My uncle has been very successful in a lot of business things that he's done, so he's been able to retire at a very young age. And him and my aunt have opened up a ranch, and we thought, and they said it was a therapeutic ranch and all of that.
That's awesome.
So we're like, oh, okay, that's cool. I didn't realize what they actually did. So it's called Celtic Charms. It's in New Jersey, and they actually work with kids that have disabilities or conditions, all the way from people that are in wheelchairs to who can't walk, to kids that are just very apprehensive with autism or possibly on the spectrum or anything like that, and get them up on horses, and they teach them how to horseback ride. It is. We saw one session. There was a family that allowed us to join in on the session. We watched how my aunt taught. So my aunt was teaching the class, and it's just amazing. There was this kid who had a form of autism, and very much I'm trying to be very, very politically correct here. I don't want to say anything. So if I say
Yeah.
anything, I do apologize. I don't mean any type of disrespect. But he was just very, I want to say introverted, just very much wanting to close himself, not push his arms out or anything like that. And he got on this horse, and it was like, he was like a brand new kid. I mean, he was so comfortable. And one of the things my uncle said, he goes, the horse responds to confidence, responds to who's in control. So if you allow the horse to be in control, the horse is going to be in control. If you're in control, then the horse is going to feel that you're in control. And that's one of the things that this kid had issues with. And he got up there, and it was like that was his horse. And it was just really, really, really cool to
That's
see
awesome.
this. Yeah, it's a really cool place. So I was very lucky to be able to be a part of that. So we walked around the ranch. He took us to the Jersey Shore. So I got to swim off the Jersey Shore. We went
That's really cool.
We went to Ashbury Park, which, if anybody is familiar with that on the East Coast, they have the Stone Pony, which is there now. Anybody who's familiar with the Stone Pony is basically where Bruce Springsteen got founded, or I don't want to say founded, but played a lot of shows there. It's an outside venue. It's an inside venue. Just all along the walls are just these signed guitars. I think if you go to my Facebook, I think I posted them. I mean, Sublime, the original Sublime was on there. Bouncing Souls.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, a Newfound Glory. You had one from Bruce Springsteen up there. I mean, it's just so cool to see. So we
That's
did that.
really awesome.
We got into New York, so we kind of just went around to New York. I hit the Nintendo store on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yep, and World Trade and did all of that fun stuff. We went to Yankee Stadium Friday night, which was great. Yankee Stadium, if you're a baseball fan, it is just as magical as people say it is, because it really is. Because there's just so much history there. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous stadium. From there, we went up to Cooperstown. The next day we went to Cooperstown, which is where Baseball Hall of Fame was. So we walked through there. I actually went into the batting cages, and I did quite well. Walked around, looked at a couple of shops there. And then from there we headed down to Philly. From Philly, the next day we caught the Phillies game from Philly Stadium, from Citizens Bank Park. And then from there we went home, and we drove home that night. So, yeah, so it was a crazy couple of days, but it was a lot of fun, and lots of good times, lots of good stories, discussions. It was me, like I said, it was me, my dad, and my brothers. I'm a very fortunate man that, and nowadays we hear about a lot of broken families and all that. I'm very lucky that my family has stuck together the way that they have. Obviously every family has issues and stuff like that. But I'm very lucky that I have my brothers and my dad in my life, and it was an experience I will never forget. It was a lot of fun. So
sounds like an amazing trip.
It really was. Like I said, I posted a whole bunch of pictures on Facebook, and I know that you were looking at them. I know that you liked a couple of them, and all that. So
any of the ones that I saw, I liked. Like I saw the World Trade Center ones, and I saw the Nintendo store. Lots of cool stuff. I
will say it is one of the most surreal. I don't want to say strange or weird or anything like that. It's just a very surreal look. When you go to where the World Trade, where the towers were, the old towers. I mean, all around New York, it is just alive and bustling and just loud and people and all of that. And then you get to the World Trade and no one talks. It is completely silent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a surreal area of just, and you're in the middle of downtown. I mean, you're in the middle of Manhattan, right. Lower Manhattan, and it's so surreal. It's just so surreal that it's because you realize what happened. There, whether or not, whatever your political views are, if you feel that it's this or that and the other thing and whatever, it's just you realize, and yeah, it's been 12 or what is it? How many years has it been?
It was in 01, and it's 2018 now.
16 years, or 17 years this year. And it's just, you still, I don't know about you, but I was a senior in high school when it happened. And I remember I walked into my government class, and I was in gym my first period. So my second period, I walk in, and my government teacher, he has the radio on, and I said, "What's going on?" And he says, basically, when you walked into the classroom, it was right from the boys' locker room. So like I was like right there. So I was always the first one to walk in. So I walked in, and I remember him looking at me, and he says, "Dan," I said, "Yeah." He goes, "The world has changed. This morning, the world changed. It will never be the same again." And I went, "What?" And he told me what happened, because it was right after the first tower. And I remember listening. And as I'm listening and people are coming in and however it was, and he's explaining everything, we're listening to the radio and we hear that the second plane hit the tower. And it was just, like you said, and I mean, just going from classroom to classroom, I will remember that day till the day I die of what I've done, what I did, just because of how it was. And then for me to be standing there of where it actually happened, it was such a surreal, like I said, I keep saying surreal, such a surreal moment.
Surreal is a very good word to encapsulate it.
Yeah.
Encapsulate it.
So, but it was an absolute wonderful time. So that's what I've been playing. I was playing New York. So, but I have, like I said, I have talked to, I have played No Man's Sky since the update.
How is it now?
It is absolutely wonderful.
Really?
I think I didn't realize how much the third person view would actually change the experience of the game. So like when the game released, it was first person.
Mm-hmm.
And so all you saw was like the gun, the mining tool, whatever. Okay. And then from there was really not a lot of substance. The planets were very vague, like everybody knows, and the graphics weren't that great, and it was just very dull. It was just a dull experience. Now you can get into third person. You can actually fly around your ship around the planet in third person, which is pretty cool.
That's cool.
The graphics look amazing. There's so much depth. Like I always felt like when I was walking before the update, I was walking and it was like my face was like pointed towards the ground. Like that's all I looked at was the ground.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah. Now you look up and it's like, oh, it's an actual planet. And I mean the mutant animals don't look as mutated or whatever like that. I mean, it's like they actually look like they could be creatures and all of that. So I'm still exploring. I have not come across anybody, nor have I tried the actual multiplayer because I haven't found anybody that wants to play. But then again, that's only been since Tuesday. So I'm thinking that this weekend I'll probably be doing that. I was streaming it earlier in the week. And I think the updates are very, very much needed, and I think it's made the game a lot better. I want to revert, kind of hold off on my score per se for it till I can dive into a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, and then the last thing too is the crafting. The crafting is so much better too. Like it tells you like what you need and how you can get it. Oh,
that's nice.
Yeah, like the other one is kind of like you kind of had to explore and kind of figure out.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one, it kind of gives you like what you can do. So it's really, really good. I know that for a fact on Steam, and I believe possibly PlayStation, until tomorrow, it's half price.
Really?
I think it's $30. I think it's $30 on Steam right now. So I'm kind of half tempted because I know Steve is re-downloading. I'm kind of half tempted if I want to get it on that. Grace, you should get it so we can explore space.
I'm actually considering it. I've seen it for super cheap at like places like resale places around town, so I might go and explore and see if I can pick up a copy for like $15.
Oh, you're looking at PlayStation then, right?
Yeah, I'd be on PlayStation.
All right, well let me know because we will definitely explore space. So I think we can have a lot of fun.
For sure. Absolutely. I was intrigued by it when it first came out, but then at the time I didn't have my own PS4, and then so I just watched other people play it. And like I said, I was intrigued by it. I thought it was really cool. I liked that whole like discover planets and like look at these cute little critters and like you make them your own and that kind of thing. But I thought that for as much hype that was built up around it and all of the delays, I was like, it doesn't really meet the expectations that I would expect that kind of a game to make. So now hearing that there are a bunch of new things going on with it, and there have been updates, and people have been seriously like putting in time and actually working on the game and the different components of the game, that makes me really happy, and it makes me want to try it.
You really should get it, and like I said, we should play, and we'll, if anything, we'll make a stream out of it or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. I'll pop on the save point, you pop on yours, and we can whatever, and it could be really fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So let's get into this day in gaming history. So July 27th. Now I can go all the way back to 1989, but I'm just going to kind of highlight a couple of what.
Dan, today is the 26th.
Today's the 26th. Oh, it is the 26th.
Today's the 26th.
What the hell did I pull up there? What the shit? Well, then my computer lied to me.
For a second, I thought mine was lying to me, but then I checked my phone and I was like, no, I'm right.
Hey, Grace, this is why we needed you back here. Because
put things in order.
Put things in order. What's that old phrase? If a man says something and a woman's not around to hear it, is he still wrong? So I don't know.
Fitting in this case.
Well, this day in gaming history, July 26th. Once again, I can still go back to I can actually go back to 1976, and TTT3D on the Altair 8800 version was released in the United States. I have absolutely no idea what the hell that is.
Me either, honestly.
Infinity Company was founded. And Infinity is the original makers of like SimCity 2000, yeah. Wolfenstein 3D, Doom, Iron Assault, Doom 2. So that's basically what they were, Infinity. That was 1986.
Oh, wow.
That came out.
It's been around for a while.
Yeah. A couple of other games. Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis version was released in Japan in 1991 on the state. Not in the United States, but in Japan. As I go through, Mario Golf on the N64 in 1999 was released. Electronic Arts Incorporated in 2000 signed a deal with Daytona Speedway for a 4-year deal to use names through Daytona, which I don't know why I feel that was necessary to say.
I don't know. That is a good question.
Harvest Moon, Another Wonderful Life for the GameCube, and Harvest Moon, More Friends of Mineral Town for Game Boy Advance was released in 2005. Kim Possible 3, Team Possible for Game Boy Advance was released.
Kim Possible.
Oh, right. The World of Harry Potter was released in the United States for the Windows version of The World of Harry Potter. In 2005, I don't think I really was a Harry Potter fan.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I was. Yeah. Like I was like old school. I was like old, like, or not old, late getting into PlayStation, getting into Harry Potter. I looked at something that said PlayStation.
Yeah.
I was very late getting into it. Like I didn't get into it until the fourth book, The Order of the Phoenix, I think.
Interesting.
No, the Goblet of Fire. That was the one. So
okay.
The Goblet of Fire came out, and I was given the second book, not the first book. I was given the second book.
Skipped the first one. Somebody was just like, he doesn't need the first one. I bet he already has it.
Well, I didn't realize that they were a series, and I wasn't that big of a reader, and I worked at the bank at the time, and there's nothing to do. I mean, this was before smartphones. So I worked at the bank or whatever. So it's like, so all we could really do was read. So I started picking that up, and then I ended up picking up the Goblet of Fire. And actually, it might have been the third one I read. Yeah, The Prisoner of Azkaban. That's the one I read. I didn't read the first two.
I've never read any of the books.
Oh, really? Just saw the movie?
I like the movies.
Okay.
I like the movies, but I haven't read any of the books. Because I've never been much of a reader myself. I came in when the movies were already like starting up and ongoing, so I just jumped into the movies.
Yeah. And so I read that, and then I ended up picking up the fourth book, and it took me like 2 years to read. So because I just didn't read, you know.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Let's see what else happened in 2007. Twisted Metal 2 PlayStation version in Japan PSN release was there. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion for 360 was released in Japan. Let's see. I don't really think there was really anything else. I had a whole bunch of stuff for the 27th because I thought I was on the right date. So, and that's really about it. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other things that kind of got released or whatever, but I don't think that they were really relevant to our cause. So that's our day in gaming history. So that now today, or this day in gaming history, or this day, you know, we'll move on to the releases that are going on. The big one obviously is the next update that came out on Tuesday for No Man's Sky.
Right.
So that was released. Go Vacation on Switch. I have no idea what Go Vacation is, but I got a 66. So
well, there we go.
Candle, The Power of the Flame for Switch. That got a 75. Semblance for Switch. The Mega Man Legacy came out this week. Mega Man 10 Legacy Collection.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yakuza 0 for PC is coming out on August 1st. So that's going to be next week. And that's really about it as far as releases go.
Not a huge week for releases, but we got some Mega Man, got some new Switch games.
Absolutely.
Got some cool stuff in there.
Yeah. Let's see. What do we want to move into now? I know what we should move into now. And let's, so Jesus gave his top 5. I gave my top 5. And Steve gave his top 5. And Grace, it means that it's your turn, but you're going to switch it up a little bit on us. What are you going to do?
Unintentionally. So I wasn't sure who all would be able to make it to this podcast or how much time we'd be able to, you know, fill on just it being me and you. So I came up with a top 10 that we could discuss. My top 10 video games. And mind you, this is just
I feel that there should be like some theme song going on now, but
yeah.
Oh well.
That requires a budget and people to make the music.
Yeah.
We can't have these things.
Yeah, we don't have a budget yet.
Yeah, no.
You want to know what our budget is right now? It's 0.
0. 0 is our budget.
We do this for fun.
Yes.
To entertain you guys. But we love doing it. So Grace, your top 10, and this will close out our segment of favorite games or best games. Yes. So go ahead. Number 10.
So, I just want to, like, as a precursor, this would be a lot different if I didn't go by my own personal rule of only include, at max, 2 games out of any series. Because, like, if there's a game in there, I probably love the entire series, but I just chose, like, my favorite 1 or 2 out of the series.
Okay.
I'm just going to preface it with that.
Okay.
So, at number 10 is a game called Onigiri. It's an MMORPG, I believe. I think that's its technical classification. On the PC, and also I know for a fact it's on PS4. I don't know if it's on Xbox. I started playing it when I was just getting into getting my own PS4. It was recommended as a free game. It was really bright pink and had really cute anime characters on the front, so I was like, heck yeah, I'm going to download it.
Okay.
I made a lot of really cool friends on there. I was able to be an I was a swordsman class at first, where I used odachis and regular swords and occasionally axes as my main weapons
Awesome.
on my main character. It was really cool. I liked the class system, the way that you could figure out based on, like, once you made a character, there were different kinds of stat trees that it would put you into, and it would have certain ones boosted. A little bit like in Skyrim, where you pick your race, and then based off of that, you have certain higher stats.
Okay.
It's sort of like that, and you get to allocate points as you level up. And it's kind of a grind game once you get into it. You grind for weapons that you want. You grind for gear, sort of gear. Mostly weapons and materials and stuff like that. But I just really loved the aspect of it being very anime, because I love anime, and I just loved the style. It was really, really cute. The creatures that were in it were either adorable or terrifying, and I loved that there was that mix. It was wonderful.
Awesome.
And I also really like the character creation. There aren't too many options, but there's enough to where I'm like, I can make like 10 different characters and still feel like they're all different, and I can make them have my own personalities in my mind and give them special names, because I like to do that. I really love character creation and that kind of thing. So
awesome.
I'm pretty sure you can have six characters to an account, and I have 4 accounts.
Oh, wow. Okay.
3 of them are full, and one of them I just recently started on this computer. So
Nice.
because I love character creation, and I really like having the different classes. And then my main character is actually a pretty high level, and it's on my PC when I switched over. Lots of stuff is different on the PC than the PS4. I would highly recommend doing the PC if you have the option, because everything is better on the PC. You don't have to wait for the updates for as long. The PS4 is literally like, I want to say like 6 months, if not more, behind the PC as far as updates, because they have to go through PlayStation. They have to go through Sony in order to get the updates, because it's not technically a beta. It's a full release game. So I'd recommend doing the PC, although I also love my start on PS4.
Okay.
So that's Onigiri. That's number 10. It's also a free-to-play game. I forgot to mention that. Free-to-play. Completely free-to-play.
I'm kind of looking that up now. So it looks kind of interesting. Okay. Well, and I don't think what many people realize is that you are like a hardcore, like, grinder gamer, too.
I absolutely am. I love it. I love the grind.
Okay.
Give me grind games. I will grind them until I get absolutely sick of them.
Grind them into a mill. No.
Grind them into oblivion. Number 9 is Borderlands. I just straight up said I went with the Handsome Collection, since that's the one game that I have. I got kind of tricksy with this one, because I just have the Handsome Collection, which is a collection of 2 games from the Borderlands series.
And when are we going to play Borderlands then, too? Come on, Grace.
Whenever you want. I didn't know you liked Borderlands. This is why we have these discussions.
Wait. Hold on. You keep talking, and okay, hold on.
Okay, I'll keep talking. I really love Borderlands. I love the art style. One thing that I love about Borderlands also.
Do you have the stream pulled up?
I don't, but I can. Now I do.
Okay. So just keep watching.
Okay, I'll keep watching. I'm watching. Claptrap! Oh, I love him.
It's the actual, like, robot.
That's awesome.
Control, yeah.
You have a very dapper looking Claptrap.
Yeah, it's actually the dapper Claptrap.
God goodness, that's wonderful. He's great. I have such a love-hate relationship with him, because he's just such an annoying character, but also so lovable at the same time.
Yep. Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say that one of the things that I do really love about Borderlands is the community, and anytime I see Borderlands cosplays, they're phenomenal, because they have, like, the whole makeup and everything. I don't know if you've ever seen
the cell shading. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh my god, I love it so much. That gives me life as somebody who used to cosplay. It makes me want to do it again, and maybe I will start. Who knows?
We
But
should. We should. We'll get
that
Jesus to
requires
cosplay
a
too.
budget, and I have none. I'm a poor college student. Maybe one day when I have a job again, I'll possibly
Possibly.
get back into it.
Possibly.
We'll see. It's nothing too complicated.
Okay.
But no, I really adore Borderlands. I love the loot drop system. I've always been a fan of like RNG to a point, where
Yep.
it's like most of it's RNG, but then it's like from certain bosses, like there's a very small pool of you get this, and it's like
Yep.
great, cool. So yeah, I'm a fan of that system. I really love the missions. I love the little like moon buggies that you can drive around. I think it's all really really awesome, and I think it's just a really well put together game series.
Okay. Number 8.
Number 8 is hilariously enough Wii Sports. Yes,
Really?
I've said it. Wii Sports, and I think the other one is like Wii Sports Arena or something like that, but it's like an offshoot of Wii Sports that has like
Yep.
archery in it and everything like
Yep.
that. Oh my god, my childhood. Oh geez, I sat for hours in my basement on our big TV that's dead now and ancient. But I would sit there with the Wii and I would literally just play. I would do archery. I would do the like katana like sword game. I would do bowling and tennis. I love it. I love Wii Sports. I feel like such a dork for having that as even on my top 10, but I just love it so much. It holds such a special place in my heart that I was like, no, it needs to be there.
I'm not even going to comment. Go to number 7.
Number 7 is Soul Calibur 5.
Okay.
So
God,
there's
that
the
damn game was hard. It was slow too.
Soul Calibur 5.
Yeah, like I don't know. I always felt like I was moving like a snail. Probably because I
No,
just suck
I
at those
see it.
games.
No, I do know what you're talking about because it had the really long story and you kept having to switch between Patroclus and Pyrrha, but like I only ever wanted to play as Pyrrha because I sucked at Patroclus, but my sister was always better at Patroclus, so she would always play as Patroclus and I would just play as Pyrrha. So her and I worked that out. Because I hated anytime I had to play as Patroclus. He was just awful and annoying, and he was just like a brattier Naruto as far as character. And so it's just like, boy, I don't have time for you. Where's your really cute little sister who gets turned super angry evil pants? And so, yeah, no. But no, I love that game. I love the character creation in Soul Calibur 5. I think that it's really awesome. I think it could be more in-depth. I'm hoping that when 6 comes along, it's a stupidly in-depth character creation. But Soul Calibur 5 already has heads way up on all other games that I can even think of right now that have character creation aspects. Plus the way that their graphics look as well for a game like that, they're pretty darn good. I love the different character designs. I love the cinematics. I love that they have like all the really cool voice acting in there as well. And I don't know. I've just always really enjoyed the Soul Calibur series as a whole, and I've really enjoyed the story throughout the different games. And I think Soul Calibur 5 did a really good job accomplishing pretty good character creation aspects with like a good amount of like different clothing choices and weapon options and stuff like that, as well as a pretty cool character pool. I just wish that maybe we could have played as somebody other than Patroclus or Pyrrha in the story, but I also understand why we had to play as them because it was their story. It would make the most sense to play as them, and that's how we would get the story in. So it makes sense, but I hate Patroclus. I hate Patroclus. I wish they had a better fighting style for him. He just flings his sword around, and it's like, where did you want that to go? Obviously not at your opponent. You went sideways, and you can't even go sideways. So.
Okay. Next, what is this? This is 6? Okay.
This is Pokemon Fire Red. I love Pokemon as a whole. I love every game in the series. I played just about every game. I was a little late to the party, so Fire Red was actually my first Pokemon game that I ever played. I wasn't around for the original Red and Blue, or Crystal, or Gold. Yellow. It's yellow. I can never remember if it's gold or yellow. Because then there's also gold and silver, right?
Yeah, there's a gold and silver, and then there's red. There's red, blue, and yellow.
Okay, yeah. See, I missed those. I missed Crystal, Gold, and Silver, and then I missed Red, Yellow, and Blue. So I came in at Fire Red, which was already a remake, but it's cool. It's fine. Everything's fine. But I adored it. It was the first Pokemon game I ever got super into playing. I completed it, and I remember it was my Arcanine versus the final boss's final Pokemon, which was an Arcanine, and my Arcanine was my last Pokemon. And I was like, no, it's like 5 in the morning and the sun is coming out, and I've been up all night trying to beat the Elite Four. And then I realized that their Arcanine didn't have Flash Fire, and the only like PowerPoint move that I had left that still had any like PowerPoints in it was Flare Blast. So I used Flare Blast, and it died, and I won, and it started to go to the little cinematic, and I was like, oh my god,
did a tear start to form?
Oh my god, yeah, of course. I was like, I don't even know how old I was at the time. I was like 11 at the time, but I was just like, I finally beat it. So I walked out into my kitchen, and I took a lap around my living room, and I was just like, I've done it. I've beaten the game with my beloved team. And ever since then, I have been just addicted to Pokemon games. I have been glued to them. I might even get a Switch for Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. Like, I don't know. It'd just be so wonderful. I can't think about not playing those games. So.
Oh, side note about Switches.
Yes.
Side note. Going back to New York. So my father has a certain Samsung Galaxy S numbered phone.
Okay,
and I can't remember which one.
Sure.
So I'm not trying to be facetious. And he forgot the charger in the car. And the problem with the one in New York, the whatever you want to call the garages in New York, it's like they go on an elevator and they go up somewhere, they go down somewhere. Like, it's not easy to get your car out of a hotel.
Okay.
So my dad was like, I'm not going back and asking him to move the car. Does anybody, I'll just, whatever. And I'm like, well, what type of charge port? He says, well, I got a C charge port. Like a C charge or whatever, which is the same one as the Switch.
Oh.
So I gave him my brick to charge his phone, and his phone killed my brick. Yeah, like so I didn't have a way to charge my Switch for the rest of, so like my Switch died. Yeah. So like the 10-hour ride home and the 5-hour ride to Philly and the 3-hour ride to Cooperstown was.
Oh no!
Because I couldn't charge it.
Do you have a new one now?
Yeah, I picked up a new one. So yeah, so it works. Good. I'm really hoping it's the power brick and not the actual Switch. And then I plugged it in and the Switch was charging. So I'm like, okay. But I wish I kind of knew that before I did it. But oh well.
Yeah. Okay. Oh geez.
Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
No, you're totally fine. I wouldn't have thought it would have had that interaction. Goodness.
Especially from a phone.
Yeah. Did it charge his phone at all?
No, not at all.
Huh. It just plugged in and then just imploded on itself.
Yeah, basically imploded. So whatever, as people would notice or whatever, or people take notice that do not try to charge a cell phone with the Nintendo Power Brick. It will brick the brick.
Excellent.
So, okay, number 5.
Number 5 is a game that I don't play anymore, but it has a special place in my heart, and that's Destiny. The original Destiny, not Destiny 2. I do love Destiny 2.
Okay, we can move on to number 4. No.
Destiny, where to start with Destiny? I've been playing Destiny since beta. I love Destiny. I loved original Destiny. Not as happy with Destiny 2 and how Destiny 2 has turned out and how it's been progressing, and I think that it's just turning into a crapshoot at this point. It makes me really sad. But I did really love Destiny the entire time that it was, servers and had like dedicated servers and stuff like that. I liked the multiplayer. I liked all of the weapons, and I just had a really good time playing with my clan and, at the time, ex-boyfriend. But it was just like, I don't know, it became sort of an integral part of my life for quite some time, where it like replaced League, which is a game that I've been playing since mid-season 2, and it is now, I think, season 9? I think it's season 9.
I haven't played League. Did I meet that ex-boyfriend? Was he at the one at the New Year's Eve party?
Yep.
Yeah.
The obnoxious redhead.
I kind of wonder what happened.
A lot of things. We don't talk about it.
No, that's fine. No, we're not. No, it's just kind of like you were going on, and then suddenly
kind of thing that needs to be aired on a podcast.
No. It just without going into detail or whatever. So I met him, and I can't remember his name. I apologize. I can't remember his name.
You're fine. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, no. Seemed like a nice guy or whatever like that, and I think that's where you and I actually first met too.
I believe so. Yes.
Yes. So, and then like I found you on Facebook, and we became Facebook friends, and then we found each other on PlayStation, and then I noticed that you were hanging out with the current boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm like, that guy looks a lot different. Like, are they the same? And he just like, did he do something with his hair? So, no. So it's all good. It's all good. Sorry.
No, you're totally right. Yeah. I was wondering where that was gonna go.
And I remember seeing you on PlayStation, and I'm like, okay, so she's playing Destiny. I really don't want to play Destiny, so I'll just talk to her later. And then Destiny 2 came out, and I'm like, I don't have anybody on PlayStation to play Destiny with. Oh, Grace is playing Destiny 2. So, and then you're like, oh yeah, totally. We'll totally game, and we'll totally go on Destiny. And then
I won on the highest.
It's all good, though. It's all good. So, no, okay. Number 4. Okay.
Number 4 is Pokemon X from the series Pokemon X and Y. I love Xerneas. I loved that legendary. It has a really, really special place in my heart. I loved the characters. I loved the different little haircut options that you could get, and how like more of them appeared after you beat the Elite Four and the champion. And I really just loved the entire game. It had a really cool story. It had an actually really interesting villain. I can't remember his name. It was Flare, something with Flare. But he was awesome. It was one of those, like, they tried to make you sort of relate to the villain in a couple ways, and then you were just like, am I the villain? And then it was like, no, he was the villain, and it was still really whack, so, like, he needs to stop. But it's like, show him the error of his ways. It's one of those. It was one of those kind of stories. And that's where, like, Flabibi came from, and I love Flabibi, and they have the little Flabibi that follows the man, and it was a Floette that was, like, the really big giant guy's, like, best friend that he got separated from, and he searches the earth forever in search of his Floette. And I'm just like, I don't know, it was precious. The graphics were really good. I loved the 3DS. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It was just a really amazing game. And specifically X over Y, because I prefer Xerneas to Yveltal, but I did love both games. I own them both, and I've played them both all the way through.
Nice. Number 3.
Number 3 is Skyrim.
Skyrim.
I love Skyrim. I was just recently introduced to Skyrim by my boyfriend, and Skyrim is amazing. Skyrim has a lot of really cool things, such as Khajiit and Argonians. They have a bunch of really cool different like races, and then they have different things that they're inherently good at based on the race that you choose. And then there's like a lot of character creation, but the graphics for the game at the time were great. Now, less.
Yeah.
Less than great.
Yes.
But there is a lot of character creation, like, option.
Yep.
There's a lot that you can do with it.
Yep. I remember I never was huge with, like, Elder Scrolls. Like, I played the games, but I never really ever really play the games. You know what I'm saying? Like I never kind of knew what was going on.
Right.
And then one of our friends, who is a very, very big Xbox guy, which I'll let you guess who that is. My PlayStation died, and he brought me over the original Xbox, and he had Oblivion, and he said, hey, until you can get your PlayStation fixed, you can borrow my Xbox. And I'm like, okay, this is the first time I ever did that. So he had Oblivion, so I played Oblivion. Okay, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Had no idea what the hell I was going on. That was my first time really ever into an Elder Scrolls game. Okay, because I wasn't a big PC gamer. I know a lot of these games integrated from PC.
Right.
And then I ended up getting Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And my first character was a Khajiit. Okay.
Mine too.
Yeah. So I'm walking around and I'm talking to people, and I'm wondering, why are these people so mean to me? Like, why are people so mean to me? So I asked them, I'm like, hey, why are people so mean to me as me playing as a Khajiit? And he goes, because they think you're going to steal from them.
Yep, they think you're a thief.
Yeah.
They think you're a sneak thief.
I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So.
No, I know. It's crazy because, like, that was my first character, too, was a Khajiit. And I'm walking around, and then all of a sudden, like, I talked to this lady, Isolde, in town, and she's like, I want to learn to be a merchant from the Khajiits, but they don't come into the towns. And I was like, why don't they come into the towns? I'm one of those.
Your Khajiit character sounds a lot like the clerk that was fixing your computer.
Yeah, right? Wonderfully unaware of everything going on around them.
Yes.
So Isolde is just like, oh, they don't come into the towns because they have a really bad rap here, but they're really good street merchants, but they sell that skooma stuff, and so they're just bad. But I don't think they're bad. I'm going to learn merchantry and run away from home. And I'm like, Isolde lady, I think you need to calm down. But okay, you do you, girl. You do you.
You do what you need to. You do what you need to.
You do what you need to do. And that is it. And that is all. That is where it ends. So, yeah, no, it was just, oh my goodness. It was a hot mess, but it was a wonderful hot mess because then I ended up getting into, like, armor smithing and all that kind of stuff. And, oh my god, there's so much to do in that game. I finished, like, all the side quests that I could. What's up?
Do you know that Todd Howard announced Elder Scrolls 6 at E3?
I was there for that. I did a live reaction on our podcast. Yes, it was wonderful.
I think he almost fainted.
I think so. I think so.
So number 2.
I don't know when it'll happen, but it must. It must. They've given us their word.
Number 2.
Number 2 is League of Legends. So
okay. I really thought that was your number 1.
No. You would think, but no.
And I'm throwing it right now. It has to be games that have already been released, so you can't have your Murder Fox as number 1.
I haven't played Murder Fox game yet. I have not played Tunic, therefore I can't rate it. It has a wonderful place in my heart, though. No, number 2 is League of Legends. I love League, but the community is toxic as hell.
Okay.
Like, I love it. I love the game. I love the characters. I kind of wish a little bit more that it was like, I think Overwatch is a game where you can just, like, choose a character and you don't have to pay for the character before you choose it.
Right.
Because in League, you have to pay with in-game currency or real-life money for new characters when they get released, or if you just want to, like, buy an old character or whatever. Like, you get started off with a couple, like, just, like, I don't know how to...
No, I know what you're saying.
There's free champion rotations, and so you get some free champions every week, and then when they change, you no longer have the ones from the week before. So when you first start out, you just have these free champs that you can choose from, and then they change from week to week, so then if you find one that you like in doing that, you can buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some champions that are really cheap, and so that's fine. That's easy enough. But they recently revamped their whole, like, in-game currency system, and I hate it. So... it makes it a lot harder to accumulate in-game currency without spending actual real-life money, and it's a free-to-play game. So I'm really not about that. So, like, I love League, and as much as I love it and have been playing it for, like, probably close to, like, 7 or 8 years now, They've made some very questionable choices. But
Okay.
I adore it. I adore League. I'm not big on ranked. I'm a support main and an AD carry main. I can also play mid, I can play jungle, and I can play top if I need to. But I really love just the bot lane. That's my best role. Best roles.
Rolls.
Roles. I really love Sona and Ashe. Those are my two favorite champions. I really love Soraka and Nami, and I really like Miss Fortune as well. So those are probably my favorite champions for the roles that I play. Nar is also really adorable. He's not an AD carry or a support. I just like him.
Very nice. Very nice.
So then, number one.
Wait. Before number one,
Do you
let's
have?
go through.
Yes.
What is it? Let's go through. Go start at number 10 and go back up. So number
Okay.
10 is
Onigiri.
9.
Borderlands: The Handsome Collection.
Okay, 2. Or I'm sorry, 2. 8.
Just skip the rest of them.
Yeah, none of
those
them
were
care.
Interesting. Number 8 is Wii Sports.
Okay, 7.
Some game. Soul Calibur 5.
6.
Pokemon Fire Red.
5.
Destiny.
4.
Pokemon X.
3.
Skyrim.
2.
League of Legends.
Why did you give Skyrim a Western accent?
I don't know. It just felt appropriate.
Okay. And the number 1 Grace pick for favoriteest game of all time is
Soul Calibur 4. Like
Really?
I said, I tried to keep it in the series. I love all of Soul Calibur games. I had to choose between my favorites, and 4 and 5 made the cut. But Soul Calibur 4 is my all-time favorite game. I have a lot of really awesome memories of playing it with my sister and friends when I was little. Well, not like little, but old enough to be playing video games and being pretty darn good at them, I like to think. But no, Soul Calibur 4, I loved the characters and I loved the story more than Soul Calibur 5. Like, I preferred the cast of characters in Soul Calibur 4 to the ones in 5. But I think that they're both well done games. But I loved especially the character creation in Soul Calibur 4, how different like weapons and armor and stuff like that really, really affected your stats, and you could see it a lot more in Soul Calibur 4, so you could make a kick-ass looking character, but also have really cool stats, and you could almost make the personalities out of their outfit, what they're wearing, how they act, that kind of thing, and it was just awesome character creation. But Tira and Talim are my two favorite characters. Talim is my number one. She is my heart and soul. I love her so much. Talim is probably the closest to cosplaying from Soul Calibur that I'll... Actually,
Right.
That's a lie. I can't say that. I was Tira for Halloween. Ha! Ha!
Ah, okay.
Whoops, forgot about that. But no, serious cosplay. If I was to seriously cosplay anybody from the series, it would definitely be Talim. Tira was just kind of like I threw something together for Halloween because I needed to dress up for my job.
Okay.
But no, I absolutely adore Talim. I love Zhanghua and Keelik as well in their relationship. Ooh, my throat. Haven't talked this much in a while. And so Seongmina as well. I loved playing Seongmina. I got to play Soul Calibur 4 at Galloping Ghost Arcade near Brookfield. I don't know if it's in
Yeah,
Brookfield.
it's close to Brookfield, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And so I went there, and I always smash the heck out of people at Soul Calibur 4, the arcade version, because I just know the characters so well, and I know their combo so well at this point that I'll just go there.
We should take a field trip.
We absolutely should. I would challenge you the heck to Soul Calibur 4. I had a really good friend when I was when I was still getting my associates, and we went because we were both really big on Soul Calibur 4, and when we played together, like on the console version, we would go back and forth like trading wins, wins and losses, and then we went to the arcade, and he beat me I think once, and I beat him twice. So I was just like, I am the winner. It is me.
Nice.
So
Nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
no, I adore Soul Calibur 4. It is my favorite game of all time, and it's so easy to say that. Like, it's by far my favorite game of all time.
Awesome. Awesome. That's a really cool list. I like that list. You
Well,
did a good job on it. So,
thank you.
and for anybody that doesn't know, there is a place in Chicago or close to Chicago, the suburbs, called the Galloping Ghost, and you can go there and it's like a certain fee, and you play like all day.
Yep. Yeah, you go in, you pay, I think it's $20 up front. It's either 20
Yeah.
or 15, I can't remember. And then you get essentially all day access to an entire like single story building full of arcade games.
Yep. All-time arcade games and up to
Yep.
a couple of newer ones too. And,
They do.
you know,
They have a couple of newer ones. I follow them on Facebook actually, and they always post about like when they get a new machine.
mhm.
They
Yeah,
keep
we-
me up
we-
to date.
Definitely have to go. I know that there's a couple of people that would try to, you know, do that. As far as the top list of everybody's top game, I think maybe we'll come out and when all four of us can. This is Steve in the chat. I think when all four of us can actually be on the chat, we'll kind of go through that and then we'll post it on the next one. We'll kind of compare our lists a little bit. But no, awesome. That sounds great. Just a little bit of housekeeping, as I like to call it. If you want to see our show live, for people that will be downloading this later, from iTunes or Google Play or Podbean, you can join us on Twitch every Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Obviously, California or West Coast, it's 6:30. That's where Steve and Jesus are from. But you can join us that every Thursday night on our Twitch, which is twitch.tv, the Save Point Podcast. Follow us. We would love to have followers on here. So we're trying to get affiliated and partnered. So please help us out with that. Like I said earlier, we're looking at we're looking at possibly being able to give out some swag as far as some stuff that we can kind of print up and send out to people. So stay tuned for that. Grace, any final thoughts on things before we wrap up?
I think you did a pretty darn good job. And then hopefully the next time we're all together will be next Thursday.
Yeah, hopefully next time will be next Thursday.
And then we will be able to talk about our top favorite game together.
Yes, absolutely. Or if you want to put even your favorite games on there, maybe we'll go through a list. We'll hit up our Discord.
Yeah.
Seriously, go to our Discord. Like I said, iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Tuned In, Spreaker, and Spotify. You can find our link for our Discord. Click on that, or just go to podbean.com and look up the Save Point Podcast, and you'll find all our information right there. You can, like I said, join our Discord. It's free. It's a great community, a lot of great people, a lot of great discussions every day that are happening on that. You can find us on Facebook, the Save Point Podcast, so you can become a friend. But won't lie, don't really do a lot of stuff on there. More done in the Discord. Find our Twitter at the Save Point. But besides that, I guess we will see everybody next week. So have a good week.
Yes, we will.
You're going to be streaming or getting on later this weekend? Or I know I am. I'm going to try to do some No Man's Sky. So
I just got a new medical diagnosis, so I might be tied up with that. We shall see.
But if you
Depending
are,
on
just
my
pay
health.
attention. Got it.
Depending on my health, and if I'm feeling up to streaming, then yes, I will be on.
Gotcha. So everybody have a good night. Have a good week. Look for the audio that will be posted sooner or later, and probably within the next couple of days. And be safe. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.